Ako ayaw dyan.
Hello, Mom. Good day. I am Jeannie Aguilar, and I am the reporter of this subject, which is ecology. And my topic is about population growth. When we say population, what comes in your mind? It means that it is the same kind of species living with each other or one area. What is growth? Well, growth, it is identification if certain animals or humans are being increased or having a high quality char. Okay, let's proceed. Population growth. Population refers to a group of organisms of the same kind or species living in the same place at the same time. So, just like what I said a while ago, that population where all the kind of organisms are living in the same time. For example, me as a human being, I'm living also with the ecosystem, also the amphibians, the reptiles, and certain of animals, flowers, and trees. So that is one of the examples of population. So a population may increase or decrease due to birth, days, immigration, and migration. So population can be increased if lots of a certain women are being pregnant. So it means we increase our population, and decrease when someone are dead and also died, or also a certain of animals are dying in the same happen in environment. Also immigration and migration. So later on we're going to discuss with that. So population growth, it is the change in population over time and can be quantified as a change in the number of individuals of any species in a population using per unit time for measurement. In demographics, population growth rate, which is PGR, is the rate at which the number of individuals in a population increases in a given time period as a fraction of the initial population. So we're going to use a PGR in order for us to know if a certain population has increased or same kind of species are increased or decreases. So we already know that population growth is not a consistency. We have a lot of things that we're going to increase and decrease. So that's one more thing is that our population is decreases, like what our pandemic situation right now. We have an income, so our population are being decreased because there is a lot of people are died. So immigration is the movement of individuals into an area which can cause a population to grow. Populations can increase by immigration as animals in search of meat or food arrive from outside. So immigration means that a movement of individuals are getting into one area. For example, all the animals or the birds, they found out that in forest they got a lot of food, so they will be immigrate. So the possibility of that, there are lots of birds will go in forest because they found out and they search about their food, that there will be an easier way for them to get food, so they will be immigrate. While immigration is the movement of individuals out of an area which can cause a population to decrease in size. Immigration can occur when animals leave to find mates and establish new territories. A shortage of food in one area may also lead to immigration. So, immigration when the animals are such a birds are immigrating. So, a lot of birds also will stay, for example, in a rural area. So, if the certain rural area and also the urban area, if the rural area has a lot of food, so the animals will immigrate. So they will go in rural. Some of birds that stays in urban, so their population is decreasing because lots of birds are being immigrates and they found out about their foods It will be easy for them. So it can be a shortage of food in one area. Why? Because in if that area has a lot of food, so there are lots of birds will there go there. So it can be a shortage of food. So some of them are getting each other, like some of eagles are eating something of birds, just like that. So in a food chain and also in food web, you can also be identified with that about immigration process. So let's proceed to geometric and exponential population growth. So a geometric series is one in which the population increases or decreases at the same rate during each unit of time, usually a year. So a geometric series is a kind of lines in order for us to know if the certain population is being decreases or increased. So exponential growth refers to the situation where growth compounds continuously at every instant of time. So when we say exponential growth, if the population are being increased in every time or every year, so it occurs when the individuals in population reproduce at a constant rate. The population becomes larger and larger until it approaches an infinitely large size. So there will be a lot of shortage. And also, the population are being increased. So when we say increase, it can be the population to become larger and larger. For example, if a certain woman are being pregnant, and when when she labor rather, so and she got pregnant, she has two kids, so the population being increased because every time, every minute, every second, there's a woman will be get pregnant and get labor. So the population will be increased. And also about the animals, if a certain animals they find a habitat, they can live a peaceful life. So the lot of birds or animals will be increased, and their species will be large and large. Their populations of kind of species will be large. So for example, if that certain animals has a lot of mayas, so if the mayas are being larger, so their population will be increased. So there you can find out that mayas are having a increasing of their populations. So next one is the logistic growth. In nature, exponential growth does not continue in population for very long. Logistic growth occurs when a population's growth slows or stops following a period of exponential growth. So exponential has been increasing while the logistic growth is just balance. It's a balance because when your population's growth are being slow, so it can be consistent. The the population is consistent, so it is not being increased and also be decreased. So it's just consistent, a balance. If the largest number of individuals of a population that given environment can support is called its carrying capacity. So when a population reaches the carrying capacity of its environment, its growth levels off. The average growth rate is 0, so it can be 0. Next one is limits to population. So limits to population is the primary productivity of an ecosystem can be reduced when there is an insufficient supply of a particular nutrient. So the population will be limiting or the limits because of reducing of insufficient supply of a particular nutrient. And ecologists call such substances limiting nutrients. A limiting nutrient is an example of a more general ecological concept, a limiting factor. In the context of populations, a limiting factor is a factor that causes population growth to decrease. While when we say that limiting, so it can be the population will be decreased. So when the population decrease, so there will be a reducing of insufficient supply because something, it can be enough, or something that they've been get it, or something like that, and etc. So this is the graph of limiting to population. As you can observe, it will grow, and after that they stop and they reach it to the point. So until we become 2,400, and as you can observe, it been decreased because they limiting the certain species, or some of that reducing a insufficient supply. So I will group you into 3 groups, and after that I will give you a rubrics in order for you to follow. And you have to put in a circle all the exponential population growth, and also a limiting to populations. And after that, there will be a one reporter and a one reporter, and also there will be a certain president or the secretary also in your group. And that's all. Thank you, ma'am, for listening.